Speaking of CBS, under the control of Larry Ellison's son, fanatical supporter of Israel, and under the editorial direction of one Bari Weiss, an equally fanatical supporter of Israel, they today also covered not just the Sydney massacre, which is news, but also the implications of it, like what we as democracies have to do now to serve Israel better, to protect Israel better. And in order to do that, CBS News, under Bari Weiss's direction, decided to invite onto the airwaves to tell us what we had to do as an American people, not an American citizen, but an Israeli citizen, which is so ironic because it has become this kind of consensus conservative ethos. And it really emerged after Twitter made public the locations where a bunch of Twitter users were, and a bunch of them posing as MAGA supporters turned out to be in Indonesia or the Philippines or wherever. People like Matt Walsh, tons of other people started saying, we don't care what you think about our country. You're not an American. We don't care what you think. You have no right to comment on our country. Even though we comment on other countries all the time. I mean, Americans constantly condemned Australia's policies in COVID or Canada's treatment of the truckers. I didn't hear any of them objecting today when CBS under Bari Weiss and the Ellisons decided to bring on an Israeli citizen to tell us what we had to do in the wake of the Sydney massacre to protect Jews. And I want you to listen to the very first question that after they called this Israeli on to tell us what we had to do, listen to the question that they asked her. Let's play this.
So anti-Semitism is a shape-shifting conspiracy theory, and what it shifted into today is this Israel-related Jewish hatred, Israel-related violence, and it is lethal.
No, when any group is under attack, you're looking for government intervention, of course, and then also civilian allies. So as we stand here right now, what can we do to help Jewish people feel safer?
Thank you so much for actually asking us this question. This is such a beautiful thing and so important. So listen, first of all, strong language against it. The second thing is strong actions against it. And to be honest, one of the most powerful things that anybody can do, any government, any organization, any group, any company, is adopt what's called the IRA definition of anti-Semitism, the International Holocaust Alliance definition of anti-Semitism is a non-binding, non-legal definition, the prism from which to see what anti-Semitism is, because a lot of people don't understand what it is. If you understand what it is as a company, as an organization, as a government, you can actually fight against it. And we need to acknowledge this threat is real. This threat is lethal. It's killing people, and we have to stop it. It has to stop.
Yeah, no, Tishby, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Can you believe that? So this ISIS attack happens in Australia, and the Bari Weiss, David Ellison-led CBS News decides in response to call an Israeli citizen onto our network news to tell us what we as a government and country need to do to better protect Israel and Jews. And the question that this journalist asked, and remember, these people know they now work for Bari Weiss. These people know they work for David Ellison. They know they're part of a news organization that sees its mission as serving a foreign government, and that their jobs depend upon aligning with that mission. And it was like a hostage video. It was like scripted North Korean television. The question, she came on and she said, you need to get stricter on the language that you allow. And he didn't say like, well, what about our First Amendment rights? Are you really saying that people who criticize Israel are now responsible for hating Jews, as she tried to link them? If he had asked a single pushback or adversarial question, he probably would have been fired on the spot. You know what he asked her instead? He said, whenever something like this happens, the question is what our government can do about it. So please tell us, Ms. Israeli, how we Americans and our government can serve you better. What can we do to protect you and make you feel safe? Tell us what we need to do for you. I mean, I think this is something that has become, again, this used to be much more subtle, but it's now so out in the open that I actually think this is going to, as sickening it is to watch, I think it's going to backfire. And she said the most important thing you can do is adopt the radically expanded definition of what anti-Semitism actually is. It doesn't just mean you hate Jews. That's the definition that I was referring to earlier, that Europe adopted into its code that criminalizes a wide variety of criticisms of Israel, and that the Trump administration forced on colleges. You're not allowed to say that Israel is a racist endeavor, even though you can say that about every other country, including the United States. You're not allowed to compare the actions of the Israeli government to Nazis, even though you can compare the actions of every other government, including the United States, to Nazis. You're not allowed to say that people in the United States seem to have a higher loyalty to Israel than to the United States, even if some of them come out and basically admit that they do. You're still not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say the Jews were responsible for the killing of Christ, even though lots of people read the Bible quite validly to say that. Not that all Jews for generations bear responsibility, but the people who were Jewish worked with the Romans to kill Jesus. It's sort of historical fact. That's not allowed. It's a censorship law that these idiots who work for CBS, and I kind of want to be generous because their jobs do depend on not pushing back on this, but like if you're a journalist, you're not supposed to have political opinions, but you're supposed to have a commitment to certain basic values of journalism, like free speech. And there she is, this Israeli citizen telling us we can't have free speech anymore. We have to adopt censorship codes for her country. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. No pushback, because CBS News is now a place where Israel criticism is not allowed.
Thanks for watching this clip from System Update, our live show that airs every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Rumble. You can catch the full nightly shows live or view the backlog of episodes for free on our Rumble page. You can also find full episodes the morning after they air across all major podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Apple. All the information you need is linked below. We hope to see you there.